Opelika game, I guess there were some doubts, but give this Wildcat team a ton of credit. They have responded so well. Opelika beat them pretty handily when they came to Ellick City and shut them out. Ever since then, Ellick City's really turned it on, and I bet you they are looking forward to a rematch with Opelika.
Oh, I guarantee you. The other big news tonight is still in progress right now, and it's one of those games that if you're not there, you kind of wish you were. The Dadeville Tigers tonight at home taking on the number 1 team in 4A, and it's not a debate. I mean, they've been number 1 for as long as anybody can remember this year. Leeds tonight. Dadeville just kicked a field goal moments ago to take a 17-14 lead in the fourth quarter against Leeds, and this is again the consensus. I don't have numbers in front of me, but it may be unanimous number 1 selection in the classification.
I'm pretty sure it is unanimous. If it's not unanimous, it probably should have been, at least coming into this game. This would be as big as Spanish Fort losing, as Hoover losing to somebody within the state of Alabama. That's how big this is. Leeds has far and away been the number 1 team in their classification. They took care of a Madison Academy team earlier this year. A lot of people thought Madison Academy would roll over them. Just didn't happen. You talk about giving a team some credit. A lot of folks had written Dadeville off completely. There is no doubt in my mind that it happened. The offensive woes have been a real issue, but tonight the defense has stood tall. This Leeds team has some SEC-level prospects on the offensive side, so give Dadeville a lot of credit.
Well, and again, Dadeville on the defensive side is as good as anybody in 4A. So when you take a look at it, that's what makes Dadeville so dangerous. Yes, they've had, they've been on and off offensively, mostly off for most of the year, not scoring a ton of points, but they've had to kind of adjust. Dadeville's been that high-scoring team for the last 2-3 years, and then this year they've really had to kind of adjust to more of a grinded out defensive style, low scoring, let's keep it low scoring, win it in the fourth quarter kind of style. And you know what, give Coach Richard White and his staff a lot of credit, because it's working. And you're leading the number 1 team in 4A right now in the fourth quarter of this game. Dadeville is dangerous with that defense because it keeps them in games, and then you're one big play from, it's just like Leeds tied this game up 14-all just a few moments ago, and then Dadeville gets an interception, returns it down to Leeds 10, gets a field goal out of it. So when you can play defense that way, it's hard to get the Dadeville Tigers out of a game.
Yeah, you stole my thunder a little bit. I want to give kudos to Coach Richard White, because you're right. Look, when you're in the NFL and you lose some players or somebody leaves the team for whatever reason, you draft that position. When you're in college and you got some guys graduating or leaving early or whatever, you recruit somebody. At Dadeville, you lose some offensive firepower. You can't go recruit it. You just got to build it up, and sometimes you got to change your whole team's personality a little bit. And Dadeville had been going through somewhat of an identity crisis, I think, right at the beginning of the season. But now, a game like this, if you can upset the number 1 team without a doubt in your classification and do it in front of your home fans, I think it's the kind of game that can turn around your season.
Well, and if you take a look again at the region standings there, Leeds comes in at obviously they're 7-0 overall. They're undefeated in region play, 3-0. Right behind them is Munford sitting there at 3-1, and then Dadeville sitting there at 2-1. So there you go with Dadeville now, a chance to knock Leeds down to a 1 loss. Maybe hand Munford the region title there, and how crazy would that be? But again, Dadeville, it's one of those teams. When you can play defense that well and you keep yourself in games, you've always got a chance in the fourth quarter to make a play. And by the way, quick update, Trey Nation from Leeds has just fumbled. Dadeville recovers.
Wow, and Trey Nation, remember that name, a youngster. He's believe he's a sophomore. If he's not a sophomore, he's a junior, but he is the kind of guy that's going to be on an SEC roster somewhere. That's huge for Dadeville.
And if you're a Dadeville Tigers fan, hold on to your seats for this one too. Childersburg leading Munford 21-14 right now.
Oh, wow, that would be monstrous.
It could be a huge shakeup when you get to Region 3 of 4A by the time this night's over. A lot of things happening tonight. So, again, that's what we have. Score for you tonight. Ranburn, no surprise here, defeats Horseshoe Bend 41-7. It's been a tough year for the Generals tonight. Tallahassee leading Marbury 44-7 in their game, so not having any trouble there. But again, right now we're keeping an eye on this Dadeville and Leeds game going on at Tiger Stadium, and what an incredible game it's been so far. We'll get more updates for you and have more news, take that one all the way to the finish, and hopefully talk to Kevin Keel a little bit later on tonight as well. It's the Central Alabama Community College first quarter show presented by Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success. We'll be right back.
General's Cafe in Newside is the area's #1 place for great food with great people. General's Cafe has only the best home-cooked food served hot and fresh and is sure to feed your appetite. General's has everything from the delicious fish plate to big juicy steaks. Come in every day for lunch and get the daily special, which will fill your belly and save you money. When you're looking for a good meal in a family-friendly atmosphere, then make the short drive out to General's Cafe on Highway 22 East in Newside.
Over the years, Lake Martin Community Hospital has served the Lake Martin area with a personal touch and grown to better serve your needs, including MRI services, a community fitness facility, wellness center, home health services, hospice program, full-service pharmacy, family medical center, and Lake Martin Community Hospital's emergency room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever you need, whenever you need it. That's the personal touch that makes the difference at Lake Martin Community Hospital in Dadeville.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280. We are back on the Central Alabama Community College first quarter show. Jay and Luke with you tonight, and I know we've got Kalijah Country on with us right now. You could be leaving us at any moment to go back to your football game. So if you are listening to us tonight, we appreciate you being here. And again, the weather delay, we're waiting to hear on that. The game was in the last half or so of the fourth quarter, so that's a game that could be called if it looks like it's not going to resume anytime soon, Luke. But one huge game around the state. This would not necessarily here in our area, but you had that huge Clay Chalkville Shades Valley game. That game has already been put off till tomorrow, and there are other games around the state, particularly the Birmingham area, experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, huge games too. Spain Park and Vestavia, that's been postponed till 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Wow.
Right at the tail end of the Auburn-Mississippi State game and right at the beginning of the Alabama-Arkansas game.
Yeah, a lot of happy parents.
There'll be some parents with some very hard decisions tomorrow. Also, Homewood and Walker, that's been delayed until 11 o'clock tomorrow. But it's a real shame. That Shades Valley Clay Chalkville game, it's a real shame for me personally because I've been announcing that game at the wrong time for the last 3 weeks now. So
right.
I hadn't gotten it right yet. So hopefully, I just hope it kicks off tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
All right, big news in that Dadeville Leeds game. We have an update for you. They are in the fourth quarter again. Dadeville had the ball, and Leeds gets a stop. Dadeville's forced to punt. Dadeville punts. Leeds muffs the punt. Dadeville now in business at the 38-yard line of Leeds. So we'll keep you updated as that comes in. We find out more information. Central Clay tonight. Central High School of Clay County. The Volunteers 34-9 over Beauregard. How about that score?
Wow, that's huge. And Beauregard had just gotten into the top 10 too, so I guess that was a quick trip.
Dadeville completes a pass to the Leeds 7-yard line. Dadeville in position here with a 3-point lead to make it a 2-score game in the fourth on Leeds, and that would be a big. I don't know, at least in this area here of Central Alabama, I don't know that we would have a bigger win for anybody than that one so far this year.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. It would be, no doubt, probably the biggest upset in the state tonight, especially considering some of these other games that maybe had some potential to be great games. got postponed.
Right.
A couple other things out there that just caught my eye tonight. Hoover started out down 6-0 to Tuscaloosa County. The halftime score was Hoover 52, Tuscaloosa County 20. So all it did was make them mad.
Yeah, Hoover is sort of riding the ship there here in the middle of the season. Reeltown tonight gets a win over Woodland. That is a region win. That'll move Reeltown to 3-1 in region play. Again, Ranburne tonight gets a win over Horseshoe Bend, so they remain undefeated. They'll move to 5-0 in the region. Reeltown keeping pace. They'll go to 3-1. Woodland will drop to 2-2. Final score there, 28-8 on that game. So again, Benjamin Russell tonight, another strong performance. They go on the road up to Chelsea. Really kind of got this thing going in the first quarter and a half there. Sort of pulled away and have never really looked back. What was the score at the delay? It was
42-13.
42-13, Benjamin Russell, and then we have a weather delay going on now. Don't know if they'll finish that last 6-7 minutes of the game. I think they're waiting to find out there.
Well, and JJ, to me, in football, so much not only depends on your preparation. I always believe, no matter it's Pee Wee League all the way to the NFL, you're only going to get your team's best game maybe a third of the time, maybe half the time at tops. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like sometimes it's all about where a team falls on your schedule. And for Chelsea, it would have probably been better if they had played Benjamin Russell, say, a couple of weeks before BRHS played Opelika. I think then Chelsea would have had a better shot. But this BRHS team is clicking on all cylinders right now, and they look like a top 5 team. I keep talking about in 6A. I think there are 4 teams that can win the state. But you know what? Benjamin Russell is probably on the cusp of being in that group the way they're playing.
Well, and they're just playing so well right now, and that brings me to another question, and this will be a much more important question in about 2 weeks. At the beginning of this year, the AHSAA went to an 11-week schedule. Mm-hmm. So you could play 10 games in those 11 weeks and schedule your open date anywhere you wanted. You could even schedule a jamboree in the first week and play 11 consecutive weeks if that's what you wanted to do. It was kind of up to you. Benjamin Russell took the open date the week before the playoffs began. So they'll finish their season a week earlier. They'll finish the season on the 24th instead of the 31st. They'll get the 31st off. So you know what the question is. When your team's rolling at the level that Benjamin Russell is rolling right now, and it took you, 3, 4, 5 games to kind of get the offense rolling.
Right. At
this point, do you think they're going, gosh, I wish we had a game that last, to kind of keep that momentum going?
Well, a lot of it probably depends on what kind of coach you have, too. I think when you've got a coach as playoff savvy and as smart as Danny Horn is, maybe this is a better thing. I see where you're going. When you start rolling downhill and things are going your way, you don't necessarily want to put a speed bump in there. But another thing to think about is this BRHS team may need a rest.
Yeah.
I mean, they may need a rest. Gather yourself because you're probably going to be facing Opelika very quickly in the playoffs, and just go ahead and get ready mentally for that. And I think the open week's a good thing for BRHS.
42-12. Okay, Auburn leading Lee Montgomery 42-12 right now. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll come back, try to get a final on this tremendous Dadeville-Leeds game. At last report, Dadeville with a 2nd and goal at the Leeds 8-yard line. We'll be back. More of the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show right after this.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. We are your dealer for Nature's Miracle state-of-the-art water filtration systems, providing sales and installation of systems for your whole house or under sink. Join our Diamond Club and enjoy many benefits and services while saving money and getting priority service scheduling. We offer financing, and our services include a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. All our technicians are trained, background tested, drug screened, and wear photo IDs to ensure your safety and peace of mind. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Advanced Heating and Air is East Central Alabama's certified train comfort specialist. That means the pros at Advanced make you the focus with superior service on all brands, 24-hour availability, and in most cases, same-day response. Advanced Heating and Air is exclusive with Train Heating and Air products that deliver the longest reliability and great energy efficiency with an amazing 0% 60-month financing package on all new Train products. The best service contacts in the region, and all pricing is upfront so you have no surprises. Advanced Heating and Air, where your comfort is our #1 concern.
There's a world of difference between a and a And that's why you have to trust the best when it comes to your vehicle's care. The difference is TNS Automotive. From computer analysis to brakes, shocks, and struts, coolant flushes, tune-ups, air conditioning, even a major engine overhaul or replacement. TNS Automotive stands behind their work. They guarantee it. Count on TNS Automotive for all of your vehicle care and service needs. Call 256-329-9423. TNS Automotive, 141 Lee Street in Alexander City.
Hey, Jerry. Nice yard. I bet this dead wood really hits home for you. The only thing getting trimmed around here are property values.
Does it ever feel like your yard work is taunting you?
Where you going? The nail salon's the other way.
Take back your yard with professional-grade equipment from Echo. Reliable, easy to use, and backed by a 5-year warranty. Echo. Get serious.
Get your SRN 225 trimmer at Satterfield's, Highway 280, Alexander City.
Times change, but what Alabama banks on never changes. In good times or difficult times, people in Alabama know they can bank on community ties, common history, strong relationships, and trusted experience. That's why for over 110 years, Tallapoosa County has banked with Alliant. Log on to AlliantBank.com or come by one of our convenient locations and experience the same friendly service. Alliant, a century of banking on Alabama. Alliant Bank, a division of U.S. Ameribank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Patterson Truck Parts has expanded. We have 7 bays, an overhead crane, and truck lifts. We have also expanded our parts department, offering everything you need. We offer major and minor repairs on all diesel trucks and trailers, 24-hour road service, computer engine analysis, AC repair and service, all-wheel alignment, welding, and so much more. Come by Patterson Truck Parts, check out our new building, and visit our friendly staff and the most experienced crew in the business today. Patterson Truck Parts, Radio Road, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City.
Amtech is proud to be part of the Alexander City area. Amtech understands the importance of education, athletics, and teamwork. Support from friends, family, classmates, and faculty play a big part of success on the field. Amtech wishes the Wildcats best of luck this year, not only in the games, but in all of your academic achievements as well. Good luck, BRHS athletes, coaches, band members, cheerleaders, faculty, and students from Amtech.
Welcome back to the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show. Jay and Luke with you on this Friday night, and wow, is there some great football going on in Dadeville, Alabama tonight. Leeds, number 1 team in 4A, travels to Dadeville. Dadeville was up 14-7. Leeds scores to make it 14-all. Dadeville forces a couple of turnovers. Now they just kicked another field goal. It is now 20-14 Dadeville with about 3 minutes left in the game. Luke, this one's coming down right to the wire.
Well, as a nonpartisan fan, I guess I'm pulling for Dadeville. Let's not go crazy here. But as a guy that didn't go to Dadeville, I guess I'm glad that there's going to be some excitement. It gives Leeds a chance to come back. But if you're a Dadeville fan, you missed a golden opportunity right there to put it a 2-score game and get it out of reach. But it sets up for some drama.
It does set up for some drama. And now, if I'm Richard White right now, the Dadeville head coach, I'm going to Anthony Jennings. I'm going, all right, big guy.
Here we go.
Come on, big guy, right here. This is where you earn those scholarship offers, right? Is right here in this time. So what a great game coming down to the wire there in Dadeville. And again, we're going to try to talk with Kevin Keel later on in the statewide program, get an update from there. A lot of weather delays, some cancellations, particularly in the Birmingham area tonight. We're in a weather delay for Benjamin Russell and Chelsea. Waiting to hear if they're going to just call that game. The game was well out of reach, 42-13, about 6 minutes left in the game, so they may decide to call it or they may decide to try to finish it. Horseshoe Bend tonight, the Wallace Tire Horseshoe Bend update. The Generals continue to struggle, particularly, though, against Rambert. I mean, Rambert is a very, very good team. You'll remember defeated Reeltown a week or two ago. 41-7 the final tonight, Rambert over Horseshoe Bend. Tallahassee gets another big win tonight over Marbury, so they continue 50 points they put on the board tonight. Tallahassee can really score points.
I would love to hear how many yards Brandon Baines had tonight. If somebody can call in and give us that. I mean, that guy's so intriguing. Just every week he seems to be putting up 250, 300 yards.
Big numbers. And the debate on Brandon Baines is he a major, Power 5 conference kind of talent, or is he more of your UAB, South Alabama, Troy kind of talent? I don't know, but I know this. In high school, he's really, really, really good.
Right.
Central Clay tonight defeats Beauregard 34-9, so a big score there for Central Clay as they get a win over the Hornets tonight, 34-9, because that's a good Beauregard football team that they just put in. It was homecoming tonight at Central High School of Clay County, so big win for those guys as well. And Beulah and Central Coosa, at last report that we had, tied at 6. So we'll try to get a final there on Central Coosa. Central Coosa seeking a win, not an easy one to find a win on their schedule this year. At least it hasn't been so far. But Benjamin Russell, Dadeville tonight. We're still waiting on the conclusion of that one. Could be an all-around Lake Martin area good night.
Oh, yeah, that really would be something to celebrate. If this Dadeville game is monstrous, and so stay tuned with us because we're going to have a final for you here very soon.
Yeah, and there were 3 minutes left in the game at last report, 20-14. Dadeville with the lead. Kicked a couple of field goals late, got down in Leeds territory, had a chance to make it a 2-score game. They wind up settling for a field goal, so now they lead by 6. Late in this game, the Dadeville defense has they've been just as tough tonight as they've been all year, and they continue to do that again tonight against the number 1 team in 4A. I think it'd be a shame if this one gets away from Dadeville because they put themselves in position for a massive upset, one that'll kind of reverberate around 4A.
I think it'd be the headline in high school football tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. Well, either that or Hoover coming back from 6-0 and winning 66-27 tonight. and they called the dogs off. I mean, they only scored 2 touchdowns in the second half.
Yeah, 52 points at the half for Hoover tonight. And so that's a big game. Coming up on the statewide show, we've got a lot of great stuff to talk about. Again, that Dadeville Leeds game, we'll spotlight that. We were going to talk a little bit of the Shades Valley Clay Chalkville game. That's not going to happen. That game will be played at 11 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to talk to Seth Hagan. He was at one of the big Thursday night games for Raycom TV with Eufaula and Charles Henderson. And Eufaula had been undefeated in region play. Not so much anymore. Kind of opens the door there for Greenville, who moves into sole possession of first place in that region. So that'll be something fun to talk about. And an interesting one, David Renshaw from WNGL in Mobile is going to join us. He's the McGill-Tulane play-by-play voice. If I'm not mistaken, they lose again tonight. This is the preseason number 3 team in 7A, and they have struggled mightily all year long and came into this game 2-4. They're going to fall to 2-5.
Yeah, lose again tonight.
After tonight, and to a Davidson team that was 1-5 coming in. And so we're going to talk, they had a coaching change in June. That's always tough. We'll talk to David about some of their struggles and kind of where they go from here. And Brett Pritchard from Kalijah Country, assuming that he's not still doing play-by-play at about 20 minutes till 11 tonight, is going to join us. We'll talk a little bit about the Benjamin Russell team and that big game with Chelsea.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second here? I want to go back to this Hoover game. I know, look, most people have Hoover fatigue, but listen to some of these stats. Hoover rushing tonight, Bradrick Shaw, who is an SEC-level prospect. He's probably heading somewhere like a Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Wisconsin, somewhere in that neighborhood. 7 carries, 220 yards, and 3 touchdowns for an average of 31.4 yards per touch.
Yeah, that'll get your yards per carry average up for sure. Let's go ahead and take our last break. We come back, we'll get ready to go statewide across the Alabama High School Athletic Association radio network. Here, this is the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show.
General's Cafe in Newside is the area's #1 place for great food with great people. General's Cafe has only the best home-cooked food served hot and fresh and is sure to feed your appetite. General's has everything from the delicious fish plate to big juicy steaks. Come in every day for lunch and get the daily special, which will fill your belly and save you money. When you're looking for a good meal in a family-friendly atmosphere, then make the short drive out to General's Cafe on Highway 22 East in Newside.
Over the years, Lake Martin Community Hospital has served the Lake Martin area with a personal touch and grown to better serve your needs, including MRI services, a community fitness facility, wellness center, home health services, hospice program, full-service pharmacy, family medical center, and Lake Martin Community Hospital's emergency room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever you need, whenever you need it. That's the personal touch that makes the difference at Lake Martin Community Hospital in Dadeville.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that bike! Buy that bike! Hop!
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings!
High pressure, decline.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide! War Eagle! Go Wildcats!
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success. The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, visit acpr.me or call 256-329-6736.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Welcome back to the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show. I got confused about which show I was doing here for just a second. All right, we got to get this thing moving. Benjamin Russell game has been called. It's official, 42-13. Wildcats win in Chelsea tonight. Dadeville trying to hold on against Leeds. We'll update all of that coming up here in just a few minutes. So please stay tuned and we'll get it set. It's time now to go to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
From the AHSAA Radio Network, this is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show, heard on great radio stations all over the state of Alabama and seen on the Alabama Cable Network, Channel 80 on Charter Communications, with all the scores, highlights, and reports from around the state. Powered by LMG. Brought to you by River Region Sports Fields, the Auburn Opelika Tourism Bureau, Olivia's Cabinet Design, a division of Continental Roofing, Russell Do-It and Building Supply Centers, and by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. Now, let's get you up to date on Alabama's favorite Friday pastime, high school football. It's time for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Welcome in to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, Week 8 of the 11-week AHSAA season. And what a night it's been. First of all, Luke, we start with weather, particularly in the Birmingham area. A lot of it, and not of the pleasant type.
No, and it's a real shame. Some fantastic ball games were postponed until tomorrow. The main one, to me at least, is that Clay Chalkville versus Shades Valley game. That's a game that I think everybody in the state was looking forward to. Prospects all over the field and sure to be some high scoring.
Yeah, and that's one that we kind of had penciled in as our game of the week. But instead, we've got a developing game of the week going on in Dadeville, Alabama tonight, right in the center of the state, as the number 1 team in 4A, Leeds, travels to Dadeville tonight. And Dadeville has been a team, we've talked about them before on the program, kind of having to reinvent themselves. They've been a high-scoring offensive juggernaut type of team for 2 or 3 years. All of a sudden this year, more of a defensive, low-scoring team. And right now, holding on to a 20-14 lead over Leeds with less than a minute to play. Leeds is inside the Dadeville 10-yard line with less than a minute to go, and the Dadeville defense desperately trying to hold on and preserve what would be certainly the upset of the night, it looks like.
It may be one of the upsets of the year. Absolutely amazing game. We will have that final for you very soon, but what's ironic about it is if Dadeville were to win and Leeds were to be bumped out of that number 1 spot, the team that would take over that number 1 spot is most assuredly going to be UMS Wright, who is Dadeville's arch nemesis in the playoffs. They've knocked them out a few years. So it's just wild how things work out sometimes, but what a fantastic game going on in Dadeville.
Yeah, it's been a great game. We've been kind of tracking that as we go tonight also. We've got a lot of great guests lined up tonight. Of course, we'll talk to Josh Bean from AL.com. He, of course, managing Football High Live tonight as he does every Friday. Terrific blog. If you're following the games tonight, you can really follow all of them, get some great information there on Football High Live. We were going to talk to Chris Nix from 980 Sports about that Clay Chalkville game. That's not going to happen. Instead, we're going to attempt to get a hold of the Dadeville broadcast crew and talk to them a little bit later on, too, get some updates from that fabulous game. And an interesting one tonight, too. We'll talk to David Renshaw from WNGL in Mobile about McGill-Tulane and their struggles this year. Of course, their coach resigned in June, so they're working with an interim coach this year, and they started the season ranked number 3 in 7A, and the wheels have kind of fallen off of that thing this year. So we'll talk a little bit about their struggles and where they go from here with David Renshaw from WNGL a little bit later on. Right now, it is time to get to our first scoring update. Here is Scores on the Fours.
Scores on the Fours.
Thursday night scores, games played last night. It was Elwood Christian Academy losing to Maplesville 69-16. Hackleburg defeated Vina 48-20. New Brockton High School 52, Zion Chapel nothing. Charles Henderson, they defeat Eufaula 42-14. Ramsey gets another big win as they keep climbing up the charts. Ramsey wins 31-8 over GW Carver. Winona, they defeat Dora last night, 42-16. Park Crossing High School, in what was an absolutely huge upset, they defeat Carver of Montgomery in overtime, 29-22. And Hazel Green High School wins 42-12 over Huntsville High School.
You mentioned that big win for Charles Henderson over Eufaula. Eufaula had come into that game 4-2 overall, but 3-0 in 5A Region 2. Greenville also 3-0 in 5A Region 2. Charles Henderson at 2-1. So Charles Henderson now is going to move to 3-1 in region play, with Eufaula dropping back to 3-1. Greenville now will take over sole possession of first place there in 5A Region 2. So good news there if you're a Greenville fan, and something to watch there. We'll have more scoring updates as we go, and I'm sure some more delays and possible reschedulings, cancellations to talk about. One that just got passed to us a few minutes ago, Benjamin Russell and Chelsea tonight, playing in Chelsea. That game, with about 6 minutes left, was weather delayed. They will not resume play, so the final there will be 42-13, Benjamin Russell over Chelsea, which will give them sole possession of second place in their Region 6A, Region 3. And Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Check them out at baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. We'll come back after this network break. Josh Bean coming up on the AHSAA Radio Network.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or Strawberry Shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us. forever.
No, wrong! Bring it in, guys! Take a knee! Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero Cola.
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste! 0 calories!
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self-Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
You know Continental Roofing because of the thousands of satisfied roofing customers. But did you know Continental is your source for kitchen and bath renovations and for construction repairs? So whether you're looking for that dream kitchen, or you need that rotten chimney repaired, or the outdoor kitchen, call us today. Short on cash? No worries. Ask us about 6 months same as cash. Several financing options available. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store. Say, where have you been? I've been looking for you.
Well, Box, I've been at the job site measuring for some new windows and doors.
Oh, you mean the website?
No, I mean the job site where the house is actually under construction.
Oh, we could never actually leave the store and go to a job site.
That makes you a little short on service, doesn't it?
Service, free delivery, and price match guarantee. 9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson with you on this Friday night with weather delays and some games getting canceled and moved around tonight, but still lots of great football. And our first big upset of the night, and you mentioned, Luke, maybe one of the biggest of the year, as Dadeville tonight has defeated the number 1 team in 4A, Leeds, and the final score there 20-14. Leeds had worked it down to the Dadeville 7-yard line, got a holding call that backed them up a bit, and they were never able to get the ball in the end zone. So Dadeville holds on for a monumental upset there in 4A.
That's the kind of game that turns your entire season around, if you ask me. And Dadeville's got the talent to make a move in Class 4A, but they needed a spark. They needed something that gives them some confidence. Well, nothing will give you more confidence than a win over the number 1 team in your classification.
And Josh Bean is going to be joining us here in just a moment. Our producer, Daniel Vest, is going to give him a call and get him on the line about now. So, and Josh, we were having a little connection problem with Josh. And again, we've had some weather this year. I don't remember a year where it's affected us as much. And it seemed like after the first 2-3 weeks of the season, it kind of slowed down. But then tonight sort of come back with a vengeance. Again, the game of the night in the state has been, called off, postponed till 11 a.m. I think tomorrow.
11 a.m.
Clay Chalkville and Shades Valley. So, and that's not the only game getting moved around too.
No, other games I mentioned, Vestavia Hills and Spain Park, which is a game a lot of people are looking forward to. That's postponed till 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah. So weather has been a story. Josh Bean from Alabama Media Group joins us, which publishes the state's 3 largest newspapers and AL.com. Josh, how are you?
Doing fantastic, fellas.
Good. Listen, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Weather got the best of us. Everybody's looking forward to Clay Chalkville and Shades Valley. We wind up not getting that game.
That's right. They're going to play tomorrow here in the Birmingham area. We had some pretty intense weather that moved through tonight. The Homewood-Walker game, the Gardendale game, the Minor game. There were a number of games that were postponed. Hueytown's actually going to – Jackson is actually going to postpone play on Monday. So, yeah, weather was a big story tonight, no question.
Well, Josh, I'm sure you've heard that Leeds ended up losing tonight to Dadeville, an absolutely monumental upset. How surprised are you by that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a surprise. I mean, Leeds has certainly played a gauntlet of a schedule all season. They're not running from anybody. You wonder if the difficulty of playing a tough opponent week after week after week maybe caught up with them a little bit. Dadeville's really talented. Big, huge win for Dadeville, no question about that. But that is a little bit of a surprise. Spanish 4 time tonight against Blunt. Ultimately, we won. We got pushed to the limit by the Leopards. So both of those were very tight games all night long.
Yeah, and the weather has it played a factor in any games that you've heard about? Maybe a game where bad weather has affected play one way or the other outside of weather delays?
No, I mean, other than the delays, I mean, you know, I'm sure that there were some games where there were some slippery balls, and maybe there was a ball slipped out of a quarterback's hand while he's throwing it, or there's a fumble. But I'm not aware of anything that has made a major difference in a game. I mean, you know, both teams are dealing with the same conditions when they're out there.
What about the game being moved to 5 o'clock tomorrow, which is Vestavia taking on Spain Park? That's another big game because the loser may be maybe on the outside looking in on the playoffs, and that game kicks off at 5 right when the Auburn game against Mississippi State is ending and right when the Alabama game is beginning. So I know some sport writers are pretty upset about that game at that particular time.
Yeah, I mean, that time, you know, with all these games, when there's a postponement, I think the officials and the coaches get together to find out, you know, what will work, what can be managed when you're having to do this. So I don't know everything that went into selecting that time, but you're right. It's an inconvenient time. I can't imagine there will be a huge crowd there for that, but you know, that was a time where the officials and both teams felt like they could be there, so that's when they'll play.
All right, Josh Bean, AL.com. Listen, thanks so much. Great work with Football High Live. We really enjoy it, okay?
Hey, thanks a lot. We still got Football High Live going, so people go there. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Still going. Lots of great updates on Football High Live. Make sure you check it out at AL.com. Josh and his crew doing a great job. Let's step aside.
Tonight.
Yeah, some overtime. Let's get scores on the fours in right now.
Getting you the scores now. It's Scores on the Fours.
Let's go to 7A tonight, where Hoover, they get a huge win over Tuscaloosa County, 66-27. Hoover was down 6-0 in that ball game. It was number 2 Fairhope 47, Mary Montgomery 25. Central Phoenix City, they lose tonight, but to a team out of Florida in American Heritage, 40-31. Still a little surprising Central Phoenix City gives up that many points. It was number 4 Prattville 42, Enterprise 13. It'll be interesting, JJ, to see if Central Phoenix City gets the same treatment that Hoover got when they lost an out-of-state game, and if Prattville, a team that Central beat, is able to jump them. Gadsden City defeats James Clemens in a classic 41-35. James Clemens in only their 3rd year of existence. It was number 6 Oak Mountain 20, Mountain Brook 17. It was number 7 Baker 35, Alma Bryant 7. Number 8 Bob Jones 50, Grissom 13. Number 9 Foley beats number 10 Murphy 23-14. I believe that Mountain Brook Oak Mountain game too is going to resume at some point. That's not actually a final. That's just the score right this minute.
Well, and an update too in my ear as you were talking here, that American Heritage Central Phoenix City game, that was not final. There's still about 30 seconds left in that game, and American Heritage has now extended their lead as 54-31 over Central Phoenix City.
Okay.
That's a lot of points. A lot of points to put on the Red Devils, I guarantee you. Yeah, Davidson defeats McGill-Tulane tonight in a battle of teams that were struggling, 17-14 there. St. James over Bullitt County, 42-0. It was Tuscaloosa Academy over Glenwood, 43-9. And Hartsville defeats Coleman tonight by a final score of 28-0. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. For locations, check out baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. We'll be right back.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all-you-can-eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all-you-can-eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters can keep you safe from the storm. We offer a variety of underground fiberglass storm shelters available in 3 different sizes, or the double-hulled underground polymer shelter with a heavy-duty all-aluminum door and frame for extra security. Plus, we have several models of above-ground steel safe rooms and community shelters that can be installed in your home, garage, or place of business to keep you safe from the storm.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters, a shelter in the storm.
Patterson Truck Parts has expanded. We have 7 bays and overhead crane and truck lifts. We have also expanded our parts department, offering everything you need. We offer major and minor repairs on all diesel trucks and trailers, 24-hour road service, computer engine analysis, AC repair and service, all-wheel alignment, welding, and so much more. Come by Patterson Truck Parts, check out our new building, and visit our friendly staff and the most experienced crew in the business today. Patterson Truck Parts, Radio Road, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that Bice! Buy that Bice! Huh!
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings!
High pressure, decline.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide! War Eagle! Go Wildcats!
BiceChrysler Dodge.com.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
There's a world of difference between a and a. And that's why you have to trust the best when it comes to your vehicle's care. The difference is TNS Automotive. From computer analysis to brakes, shocks, and struts, coolant flushes, tune-ups, air conditioning, even a major engine overhaul or replacement. TNS Automotive stands behind their work. They guarantee it. Count on TNS Automotive for all of your vehicle care and service needs. Call 256-329-9423. TNS Automotive, 141 Lee Street in Alexander City.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, Week 8, and we had slotted this segment of the program to talk about Clay Chalkville and Shades Valley, which was going to be our Russell Dewitt and Building Supply Center's game of the week, Luke. Now, that game gets moved to tomorrow at 11 o'clock because of weather in the Birmingham area, and it really kind of worked out in our favor because, as it turns out, the game of the week this week, the Russell Dewitt and Building Supply Center's game of the week, was happening in Dadeville, Alabama, right in the heart of the state, as the number 1 team in 4A goes to Dadeville tonight and loses. Dadeville with the win 20-14. And Kevin Keel joins us from WAXC TV. He is the play-by-play voice of the Dadeville Tigers. Kevin, how you doing?
Oh, man, everything's good in Dadeville tonight.
It has to be. What a monumental upset tonight. A big one when you knock off the number 1 team. First of all, your impressions of the Dadeville defense. They've been tremendous all year. I can't imagine that the Dadeville defense has played any better than it did tonight.
No, once again, defense, stood tall. Even at the end, you come down to one play, Dadeville able to get a little pressure and just a bad throw by the Leeds guys. They were on about the 22. It was 4th down, 3 seconds to go. Just can't say enough about the defense.
How did Anthony Jennings look for Dadeville?
Oh, man, he is a beast. I'm telling you, they were double-teaming him. And a very penalized game tonight on both sides. I know there'll be sour grapes, but both sides very much penalized. If we got inside the 20, we were getting backed up. And they were holding a lot, and it was obvious. You can watch the replay on WKGA 97.5 and see for yourself. But they were double-teaming Anthony all night, and he was still they were back deep, behind the line of scrimmage. He just he showed out, showed up, and showed off.
So what's next? I mean, if we take a look at the region standings, we were talking about this earlier. If you take a look at the region standings right now, you drop Leeds back. That puts Dadeville now in position to go. They're going to go 3-1 now, region play. Leeds drops to 3-1. Munford's sitting there at 3-1. What's next for Dadeville? What's up next on the schedule?
We got Elmore County, and we'll go there and play, and then we'll have Handley left. It come through a monkey wrench in it tonight, being that all teams have lost one now, and they beat each other. But to my knowledge, it goes to your non-region games, which Dadeville has a win over a 5A team, and I think that bids well for them. and Eufaula's on the schedule towards the end, which will be another 5A team. So Dave will, if we can hold through here, we should be in good shape if we can continue winning. And I've got Chad here also if you'd like to ask him something.
Sure. Let's put him on.
Hey guys, one thing to point out also, as far as the tiebreaker goes, Leeds, having played Madison Academy and Piedmont, actually played down to Region 3, so that would work against them in that tiebreaker. So the Tigers, with the victory tonight, they come out in pretty good shape to possibly pull out a region championship.
Let me ask you this, Chad. Has Dadeville played Childersburg yet?
Yes, Dadeville has played Childersburg and has defeated Childersburg.
Okay, because at last report I heard, I think Munford was losing, right?
They were losing to Childersburg last we heard.
Yeah, and that game got a weather delay, so things could get really interesting. And when you talk about 4A Region 3 coming down the wire here in the last few weeks, things are going to get a little bit wild and woolly there. Listen, Chad, tell me about the Dadeville offense tonight. Obviously, not a ton of points scored. Kevin mentioned the penalties. Do you feel like the offense is starting to kind of gain some momentum there, starting to play maybe, if not more high scoring, certainly a little bit more consistently?
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing that stands out is we're more consistent. Got a few more, got a little more variety in our offense. Added a few different plays and that sort of thing because we really focus on running the ball so well. People load the box, and we're now able to make them pay. If they just want to run straight man coverage, and that's what leads.
Well, that's kind of been the story for him, is getting a little bit more consistently. Again, that's Chad and Kevin, play-by-play for the Dadeville Tigers. Big upset tonight. Let's go to scores on the fours right now.
Getting you the scores faster. It's Scores on the Fours.
Moving over to 6A in the top 10, it was a fantastic game between Spanish Fort and number 5 Blunt. Spanish Fort, they continue their winning streak, number 31 in a row. They defeat Blunt 21-14 in overtime. Clay Chalkville and Shades Valley, as we mentioned, that's number 2 and number 3 teams. That's postponed until tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It was Opelika. They continue to roll 52-14 over Valley. Number 6 Saraland, they're looking good again, 40-0 over Baldwin County. It was number 7 Florence 42, Athens 7. As I mentioned earlier, Carver of Montgomery loses to Park Crossing, a team in their first year of existence, 29-22 last night. It was number 9 Decatur losing to Muscle Shoals 10-7 tonight, and number 10 McAdory in a squeaker over Hillcrest Tuscaloosa 24-21.
You mentioned this earlier, too, looking around some other scores. Spain Park Vestavia has been delayed until 5 p.m. on Saturday. Red Bay defeats Hatton tonight 28-21. It was Benjamin Russell over Chelsea 42-13. We'll talk about that game coming up in more detail. You had the Walker and Homewood game delayed till 11 o'clock on Saturday. Trinity defeats Catholic 24-0. Booker T. Washington over Rehoboth 12-0. Muscle Shoals over Decatur 10-7. Colbert County defeats Lexington tonight 49-24. It was W.S. Neal over Thomasville 41-7, and St. Luke's over Choctaw County 32-0. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. Check them out at baumhauers.com for locations. When we come back, we will talk about one of Thursday night's bigger games, the Charles Henderson Eufaula game with Seth Hagan of Raycom Sports Television. That's coming up here on the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self-Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super 7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
River Region Sports Fields is a full-service athletic field company servicing the state of Alabama and the Southeast, specializing in construction, laser grading, aerification, top dressing, irrigation, and field drainage of athletic fields of any kind. River Region Sports Fields can manage the entire process of making the perfect athletic field for you. River Region Sports Fields. Give us a call, 205-617-4884. RiverRegionSportsFields.com.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this. Danger. You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
To speak with a farmer's agent in your community, call 888-96-FARMERS.
Where there's action, there's Encore. Professional. Responsive. Dedicated. Encore Rehabilitation.
With over 125 years as North America's leading shingle manufacturer, GAF has selected Continental Roofing for Master Elite status. Only 3% of all roofing companies in the United States can qualify for this prestigious certification. It means Continental Roofing can offer the best roofing system warranty available anywhere. With so many roofing companies that have come and gone, look to Continental Roofing to provide total peace of mind with your next roof. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay and Luke with you, Week 8 tonight, as we go back to the Olivia's Cabinet Design Hotline tonight. And it's presented by Olivia's Cabinet Design, the new division of Continental Roofing. Talked to Seth Hagan, who was on the sideline last night with Raycom TV and at one of the bigger games, and really an impactful game in terms of region standings. Charles Henderson and Eufaula. Seth, how are you?
Doing great, guys. How's it going?
A big win last night for Charles Henderson, 5A Region 2. Eufaula had been undefeated in region play. Now both teams are 3-1, and what that means is that Greenville now controls its own destiny, leading in that division. But Charles Henderson all over Eufaula, 52-14.
Yeah, we really expected a good game going into this one, and that's really how it's been all season with these Thursday night games. But one team comes to play, and one team is just not prepared, and most likely it's the home team, guys. The home team has actually lost 6 in a row, dating back to August in our series.
Wow, that is crazy. So recap the game a little bit for us.
Well, Charles Henderson, like a lot of these games, got out to a real quick start. Montarius Dixon had a great game, 27 carries, 109 yards, and got that. And he also contributed through the air. Austin Ingram found him for a 38-yard touchdown pass to start the game off. Basically, what Eufaula, a lot of problems with turnovers. They turned the ball over 3 times. Charles Henderson was able to break the game open 20-0 before you even knew what happened.
Talk about DeMario Harris and how this team is coping with his loss recently.
Yes, absolutely. The team showed up about 2 to 3 hours before kickoff. All have orange T-shirts with the hashtag FlyHigh10 in honor of their fallen teammate. And I mean, they couldn't have given him a better tribute that night. Great defense. As we all know, DeMario was a cornerback, so the defense just backed him up. Great. Richard McBride, an Auburn commit, had a monster game. And I mean, it was just a really fitting tribute. And and starting to heal at least some of those wounds over there for Charles Henderson.
Well, Seth, both teams came into this game at 4-2 overall. Charles Henderson was 2-1 in region play. Really couldn't afford to lose that. When you follow us at 3-0 in region play, Charles Henderson's playoff hopes are kind of hanging in the balance there. So they get this big win. Now they're at 3-1. Greenville, again, controlling its own destiny. Eufaula drops back to 3-1. So Charles Henderson, this is another team now that, with Charles Henderson, last year, Luke, we saw him, in Tuscaloosa. They have athletes. Mm-hmm. And when you have athletes, sometimes you can come up with these big wins, Seth, that some people maybe weren't expecting to be quite that big.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have a guy like Richard McBride who plays great defense but also offers great offensive potential, he broke the game open, 4-20-0 lead on 2 fourth-down runs there in the second quarter. And, I mean, when you have great athletes like that, like Monterius Dixon, who can really, just pace your team down the field and work that clock down, which is what they did. I mean, this team's potential is still limitless, much like the Dadeville game I saw tonight.
Yeah, Charles Henderson's a team you got to watch out for going forward. Seth Hagen, thank you so much for joining us, all right?
No problem, guys. Glad to do it.
Thank you, Seth.
Seth doing that Thursday night game of the week with Raycom TV, and like he said, 6 straight weeks now that the road team has won when Raycom shows up. So if you're on the Raycom schedule next Thursday and you're a home team, you got to be a little
You may go out there
right?
and seed the clouds and see if you can't get a rainstorm or a delay, something like that. Listen to the delays. I know we got about a minute till scores on the fours. How many games were delayed tonight? Most of them, of course, in the Birmingham area. Gardendale and Woodlawn. That game will be at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Clay Chalkville, Shades Valley, of course. Fairfield and Pleasant Grove. Minor at John Carroll. That, unfortunately, for Maurice Smitherman, who's one of the top defensive backs in the state, he's committed to Mississippi State. He was headed over to the game tomorrow. He can't go now because he's got a game at 11 o'clock. Hueytown, Jackson Olin, and Spain Park, Vestavia Hills, as well as Walker and Homewood.
Yeah, it's been a wild night weather-wise, and again, like Luke said, particularly in the Birmingham area, a lot of delays, a lot of weather delays, and again, a big game going on tonight with that Munford and Childersburg game, which we're still waiting to get a final on. Last report, 21-14 in a weather delay. Right now, though, speaking of scores, we got to get to some of them, some top 10s and beyond, with another edition of Scores on the Fours from Baumhauer Restaurant.
Getting you the scores now. It's Scores on the Fours.
We've worked our way over to the 5A top 10 list now, and number 1, St. Paul's. They had the night off. They're still undefeated, obviously, at 7-0. It was number 2, Gunnersville, 35, Fairview, 13. Number 3, Mortimer Jordan loses to Lincoln, or at least it's in the fourth quarter, losing 32-8. So it looks like they aren't going to be able to get out of there with a win, but they were late in the fourth quarter, or at least midway through the fourth. Number 4, Parker at Corner. We're looking for a score there. I believe that's been postponed until tomorrow, I'm being told now. Number 5, East Limestone, 41, Lawrence County, 7. Number 6, Jackson, 38, BC Rain, 24. Number 7, Demopolis. They defeat Central of Tuscaloosa, 42-16. It was number 8, Russellville, in a real tight one over West Point, 22-20. Number 9, Ramsey. They win last night, 31-8. That Ramsey team is really making some noise in 5A. And finally, it was number 10, Beauregard, going down to Central of Clay County, 34-9 on Central of Clay County's homecoming.
And just to tell you this here, that Central Clay County, this is how big that game is with Beauregard. Beauregard was undefeated in region play coming into that game. Tallahassee tonight gets a win over Marbury. Tallahassee now moves into sole possession of first place in Region 3 there in 5A. So, again, very impactful games tonight. Every game right now, it seems like, is impacting the region standings somewhere along the line. Other scores, Geraldine defeats Sandrock 25-7. It was Daphne over Gulf Shores 34-14. Gordo over Aliceville 24-3. Linden defeats A.L. Johnson 52-0 in that game. And Wetumpka over Carroll 42-12. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Check them out at baumhauers.com for legendary food, legendary fun. Brett Pritchard, Benjamin Russell, up next. Stay with us.
The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, visit acpr.me or call 256-329-6736.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Over the years, Lake Martin Community Hospital has served the Lake Martin area with a personal touch and grown to better serve your needs, including MRI services, a community fitness facility, wellness center, home health services, hospice program, full-service pharmacy, family medical center, and Lake Martin Community Hospital's emergency room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever you need, whenever you need it. That's the personal touch that makes the difference at Lake Martin Community Hospital in Dadeville.
For over 30 years, Lackey's Floor Covering has been the name you can trust for premium name brand flooring. For 2 generations, Lackey's has made it easy to give your home that fresh look. Get better value without sacrificing on quality with names like Shaw's Carpet. No matter what room or style, we have the flooring you need with quality carpet, hardwood, and tile. Lackey's can consistently quote and install premium floors without busting your wallet. Let Lackey's Floor Covering show you how easy it is to get that fresh look in your home.
Let me be all-time quarterback. Okay. Whoa! Calvin Johnson!
What's up, guys?
Is that the new game day filet sandwich?
Sure is.
You want to throw the ball around?
Sure, why not? Oh, yeah. Gotta love a trick play.
Introducing the new Game Day Filet Sandwich Meal. A crispy chicken breast filet with just the right amount of kick on a lightly toasted bun. Served with crinkle fries and a small Coca-Cola Freestyle drink. Only at Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
Times change, but what Alabama banks on never changes. In good times or difficult times, people in Alabama know they can bank on community ties, common history, strong relationships, and trusted experience. That's why for over 110 years, Tallapoosa County has banked with Alliant. Log on to AlliantBank.com or come by one of our convenient locations and experience the same friendly service. Alliant, a century of banking on Alabama. Alliant Bank, a division of U.S. AmeriBank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay and Luke along on this Friday night. It's been a night of weather delays, a night of cancellations, a night of upsets, a night of region moves and region drama going on tonight. And one of those big region games, Luke, is the one that we were going to talk about this segment, and we're still efforting Brett Pritchard from WKGA in Alexander City. He's the play-by-play voice of the Benjamin Russell Wildcats as they continue their winning streak. Only loss this season, a loss to Opelika. Of course, a power team there in 6A. That was a region loss, however. But tonight was really a de facto playoff for the number 2 seed there in Region 3 in 6A, and they get a big win over Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think Benjamin Russell now has a chokehold on that because they're going to have to lose twice, and I don't see that happening. They're going to have that nailed down.
Well, it's a team that, and let's talk a little bit about this team because coming in, obviously they lose a 3 or 4 year starter in Brian Horner quarterback, so they come in with a new quarterback. But the strength of the team is the offensive line, defensive line, really the defense as a whole, and so they kind of come in with that. So they're running the ball, playing defense, doing the things that you have to do in that situation while this young quarterback learns and grows through the season. Brett Pritchard's with us now. Brett, talk a little bit about that, the maturation of the young quarterback Tyree Gray for Benjamin Russell.
Well, he's done a tremendous job from one week to the next. And Randy and I talked about it on the broadcast tonight. You know, this is probably, in all my years of calling Benjamin Russell football, the most improved I've ever seen a Benjamin Russell team from the first week up until week 7. And Tyree Gray, the junior quarterback's a huge part of that. You know, there's no substitute for experience, and he really, really has grown and gotten better each and every week.
What about the defense, Brett? Did they look just as impressive as they have been these last few weeks?
You know, they have been very impressive, Luke, but the last couple of weeks they've given up a little bit more on the ground than I think Coach Horn would like. So I think they're going to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out some things as far as how to stop the run a little bit better. And I know that's being nitpicky because the defense is so dominant. Coach Horn's a perfectionist when it comes to defense.
Brett, talk a little bit about the nose tackle, Tay Robinson. He's, I believe he's a junior. Is that right, or is it just a sophomore? But you're talking about one of the strongest players in the state there at nose tackle.
He is. Tay Robinson, first of all, is a great kid, but he is super, super strong. I watched him deadlift about 500 pounds last week. He is a guy that just takes centers' names every week. He rudely introduces himself to the opponent, and he's a guy that's just hard to block. It takes two men to block him, really, and what that does, if he's not making the play, he's opening up holes for other people on the defense to make plays. So when you got a guy that's so dominant in the middle of the defensive front, it makes people better around you, and that's what Tay does.
Brett, Benjamin Russell's going to have a bye week before the playoffs start. You could make an argument that that's either a good thing or a bad thing. Which side of that do you fall on?
I think it'll be a good thing, Luke, and I saw that going into the season where Coach Horn had got it set up where we played the first week and had that bye week. You know, it'll give our guys a chance to get healthy, get some of the bumps and bruises. We've lost a couple of key guys that'll be back in time for the playoffs, so I think it's going to come at the perfect time.
Well, it's going to be an exciting finish to the season. So what's up next for Benjamin Russell? What do we look for next couple of weeks?
Well, you know, we've got a couple of more region opponents in Valley and Chilton County. We'll be back home for senior night. Wildcats are 7-1 right now, and if you looked at the schedule at the beginning of the season and you said we'd be 7-1 going into the last two games, there's not a soul on that coaching staff or that team that would have not taken that. And this team's getting better and better, and that's the important thing. As they come down the stretch, you want to be playing your best football heading into the playoffs, and I really think this team's best days are ahead of them.
Going to be exciting to watch. Thank you so much, Brett Pritchard, WKGA in Alexander City, the play-by-play voice of the Benjamin Russell Wildcats, joining us again. That team runs their record to 7-1 and pretty much clinches a number 2 seed there in 6A Region 3. It's time to go to Scores on the Fours.
Scores on the Fours.
4A, top 10 now, and the biggest upset of the night, no doubt. Dadeville, 20. Number 1 Leeds, 14. Leeds gets it all the way down to the Dadeville 7 with about 50 seconds left, but they can't cash in. It was number 2, UMS Wright, 49. South side of Selma, nothing. Number 3, Sachs, they win again, 47-16 over Hoax Bluff. Number 4, Strawn, they get a victory over Ashford, 28-13. Number 5, Aniana and JB Pennington are still playing right now, but the last score we had was 41-7, Aniana on top. Number 6, Haleyville, 42, Hamilton, 24. Number 7, Fayette County was off tonight. Number 8, Thomasville, they lose to W.S. Neal in a shocking score, 41-7. Number 9, Jacksonville, 40, White Plains, nothing. And number 10, Deschler wins 34-0 over Elkmont.
And some other scores. Montgomery Academy defeats Midfield 41-14. It was Stanhope over Russell County 42-12. Tallahassee defeats Marbury tonight 50-21. Hewitt over Thompson 41-7. It was Red Level over Pleasant 42-20. Demopolis defeats Central 42-16. Sipsey Valley over Oak Grove 16-6. McAdory over Hillcrest 24-21. Hamilton defeats Haleyville 42-24. And Fort Payne defeats Scottsboro tonight by a final of 20-12. One other game of note, Auburn tonight gets a win over Robert E. Lee, that final 42-16. So the Auburn Baby Tigers get that win. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. For locations, check out baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Come up, we will talk to David Renshaw, WNGL in Mobile, Alabama. That's next on the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
You know Continental Roofing because of the thousands of satisfied roofing customers. But did you know Continental is your source for kitchen and bath renovations and for construction repairs? So whether you're looking for that dream kitchen, or you need that rotten chimney repaired, or the outdoor kitchen, call us today. Short on cash? No worries. Ask us about 6 months, same as cash. Several financing options available. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
River Region Sports Fields is a full-service athletic field company servicing the state of Alabama and the Southeast, specializing in construction, laser grading, aerification, top dressing, irrigation, and field drainage of athletic fields of any kind. River Region Sports Fields can manage the entire process of making the perfect athletic field for you. River Region Sports Fields. Give us a call, 205-617-4884, riverregionsportsfields.com.
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super 7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
At Cadence, we believe money should get out of the bank and into action, getting out into the world of business, for energy companies, the healthcare industry, legal and accounting firms, and for individuals, wealth management. When you find your Cadence in Alabama, you turn money into action. So join us and we'll work together to find your Cadence at Cadence Bank.
Member FDIC.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show as we bounce around the state tonight, talk about some of the big games going on tonight. A lot of weather talk, but not so down at the southern part of the state. That's more of a Birmingham area thing, and that is where we go tonight, down to Mobile. We're going to go to WNGL-AM in Mobile, Alabama, and talk to David Renshaw, who is the play-by-play voice for McGill-Tulane. And David, I want to talk a little bit about the game tonight, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about this McGill-Tulane team. I know it's been a frustrating season for everyone involved with McGill-Tulane this year, and it really goes back to June. You get a summertime resignation of your head coach, so you get a coaching change really just a few weeks before the fall practices start. And this is a team that's preseason number 3 in 7A, and it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, when you look at the coaching change, obviously you never want to change your coach in the middle of your off season there. But luckily, they did have Caleb Ross, who was their offensive coordinator the year before with Bart Sessions, and then they also had Ricky Chancery coming back, who was the defensive coordinator 2 years ago. So there wasn't a ton of change in terms of unfamiliarity in the coaching staff, but there were a lot of young players coming in. Coach Caleb Ross knew he had a lot of young players who didn't know how they were going to be. And obviously, if you tell any head coach at the beginning of the season that 7 weeks into the season you're going to get your number 3 quarterback, you're wondering how the record is going to look at that point in time.
What do you think the biggest problem for McGill is, though? I mean, there's got to be something on offense or something on defense that you can really point to.
Well, I mean, obviously it's inconsistency, I'm thinking, because obviously you start with Bubba Thompson, a sophomore quarterback who has a great upside. He ends up dislocating his shoulder in game one. You end up going with Paris Chambers, who has flashes of brilliance but was kind of turnover prone. And then you go to Trip Cobb, who was your go-to wide receiver over the last couple of seasons, and he's got to be put in the quarterback. So you're really kind of getting, I think, in terms of changing your quarterback, you've got a lot of personnel changes. You've got a guy who's an option quarterback, then you go to a guy who's a passing quarterback. So there's just a lot of inconsistency, even in terms of players and skill positions. So, I think Coach Ross kind of saw this possibility coming. He obviously hoped for the best and didn't expect for the worst. But right now, we still do see flashes of brilliance with some of this offense. But obviously, the score tonight against Davidson showed Davidson put up 14 or 17 points in the first half. Out McGill-Tulane. McGill-Tulane comes back. There's 2 quick touchdowns up on the board, looks great, and then just can't put it together at the end.
Yeah, Davidson winds up winning that with 17-14. And, of course, that's another contributing factor here too, Luke and David. When you're playing with a young team and you're having to rotate quarterbacks because of injuries, different situations, then you have the coaching change midsummer, and then you add to that you play in the SEC West of high school football in the state of Alabama in 7A Region 1. That's just there's not a lot of margin for error when you're in 7A Region 1.
No, and it's great that you mentioned that because Pat Aaronsburg does color commentary for us and myself on the field before the game, and we looked at Davidson and we said, "Are you serious? This is a 1-3 in the region team." They look great. I mean, they came out and held the ball for us the entire first quarter and held up scoreless in the first half. So, I mean, top to bottom, these are great teams battling out. We see the log jam, for that 3 and 4 spot in the playoffs. So it's going to be a really, really interesting last 2 weeks to see where these teams are because. The number 2 team or 3 team right now could be on the outside looking in 3 weeks from now.
Who else in the Mobile area has really impressed you this year, maybe that McGill has played?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, outside of 7A, I think Blunt has looked really good. Obviously, there are 2 heartbreaking losses in overtime to Daphne and Spanish Fort tonight. But the surprise to me, guys, and I'll say this completely honestly, Baker is a huge surprise. McGill-Tulane went into Baker, played them really well. Other than 4 big offensive plays of like 50 yards or more, Baker, took it to us a little bit. But they did not look that strong. So to see them at the number 2 spot this year, I'm really surprised. But God bless them. They're at number 2, looking down at some other teams who they thought probably they'd be behind. And so it's going to be a great and exciting last 3 weeks of the season here.
Yeah, one of the real surprise teams in the state. David, thank you so much for the great work you do, and appreciate you being here with us.
God bless you guys anytime.
All right, David Renshaw, WNGL, Mobile, Alabama. It is time for Scores on the Fours.
Scores on the Fours.
3A top 10 now is number 1 Madison Academy. They keep rolling right along. They defeat number 5 Lauderdale County 34-7. I believe Lauderdale County actually had the lead in that game 7-0. Number 2 Dale County 47, Slocum 7. Number 3 Glencoe 42, Ohatchee 12. It was number 4 Gordo defeating number 8 Aliceville 24-3. Number 6 TR Miller 17, Geneva nothing. Number 7 Montgomery Academy 41, Midfield 14. Number 9 Pike County 39, Wicksburg 12. And number 10 Piedmont defeats Walter Welborn 35-13 tonight.
And how would you like this? Let's just say, you're McGill-Tulane, you're Caleb Ross, and you're taking over, you're kind of late in the season. Then you come in and you start looking at that schedule, you go, Fairhope, Baker, Murphy, Foley, Theodore.
Where's your breather?
Yeah, where's your breather in that schedule? There's just not one 7A Region 1. And again, that David and I talked about that earlier in the week by email. It's just the margin for error in that region is so small that one injury, one coaching change, one can really throw everything off kilter.
Let me go back and give you a couple more scores that ended late. Oak Mountain defeats Mountain Brook 27-24 tonight, and Gaston City ends up beating James Clemens 42-35.
Okay, there you go. And we had a Parker and Corner score. What was that score, Daniel? 22-0 in the third. Parker?
Yeah. Parker's got a strong team this year.
Yeah, Parker 22-0 there in the third. That's an update for you. Again, a lot of weather delays tonight we're tracking and keeping up with. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Check them out at baumhauers.com for locations. Coming up, 10 Sim. We'll talk a little Beauregard football next on the AHSAA Radio Network.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Hey, Jerry. Nice yard. I bet this dead wood really hits home for you. The only thing getting trimmed around here are property values.
Does it ever feel like your yard work is taunting you?
Where you going? The nail salon's the other way.
Take back your yard with professional-grade equipment from Echo. Reliable, easy to use, and backed by a 5-year warranty. Echo. Get serious.
Get your SRN 225 trimmer at Satterfield's, Highway 280, Alexander City.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters can keep you safe from the storm. We offer a variety of underground fiberglass storm shelters available in 3 different sizes, or the double-hulled underground polymer shelter with a heavy-duty all-aluminum door and frame for extra security. Plus, we have several models of above-ground steel safe rooms and community shelters that can be installed in your home, garage, or place of business to keep you safe from the storm.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters, a shelter in the storm.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that buy! Buy that buy! Hop!
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings!
High pressure, decline.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide! War Eagle! Go Wildcats!
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, Week 8 of the high school football season, as we talk about some of the big games going on around the state. And, you know, there are times, Luke, as we go to the Olivia's Cabinet Design Hotline and welcome Tim Sin from WQSI in Auburn, Alabama, the play-by-play voice of the Beauregard Hornets. There are times when you think you've got some things figured out, and then you take a look at 5A Region 3, and you go, we kind of got this figured out. Beauregard and Tallahassee are going to play next week, and they're going to battle it out for supremacy in 5A Region 3. And then Beauregard tonight plays Central High School of Clay County. And, Tim, first of all, the game, how did the game go tonight? Obviously not that well for Beauregard.
Well, it was really, it was a big game for them. They were playing for a lot to keep alive in this region, and Beauregard was undefeated in the region going in, and came out actually a pretty tough game in the first half. Beauregard, no score in the first quarter. Beauregard scored on the first play of the second quarter to go ahead and had a little trouble on the extra point and missed the extra point. And then Clay Central took it down on the next possession and scored about a 65-yard drive and scored and went up
7-6. They kicked the field goal a little later to go after a Beauregard turnover to go 10-6, and then with under a minute left in the half, Jason Clark from Beauregard kicked a 24-yard field goal to make it 10-9 at halftime. So we had a ball game there, and Beauregard first half summary really was opportunities for Beauregard that were missed. Several opportunities that could have put us up pretty heavily there in the first half, and just couldn't execute a couple of things. But
getting you the scores.
Second half was a total different story. Clay Central came out and drove the ball down on the opening drive and scored right off the bat, and came back and held Beauregard 3 and out, and was able to take the ball and kind of a freak play on the very next possession after scoring, throw toward the end zone. The Clay Central receiver just made a great play on, went up and out jumped some folks, and they were able to take it in there for the second score in a row. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Beauregard fumbles on about the 8-yard line, and Central Clay gets again and scores. So within 7 minutes of the third quarter, they're 21 points up right off there, and after that they went into basically a wishbone offense and ran the ball right at us and was able to do what they needed to do to finish the game off.
Well, Tim,
it was a tough night.
Yeah, it sounds like a tough night, but this team, and really quickly, we got about 20 seconds left. Can you tell us what you know about Brandon Baines coming in next week with Tallahassee?
I know he likes to run the ball, and they like to stack the box. They like to stack it in and let him run it and do what he wants to, what he likes to do with it, and that's put yards up. And Beauregard will they do a good job of making the adjustments and being able to stop things, and it's going to be an interesting ball game down there in Beauregard next Friday night.
All right, listen, best of luck to you rest of the way, Tim, and I'm sure we'll talk to you right around playoff time.
Well, we appreciate it, buddy.
All right, Tim Senn, WQSI, you two in Auburn, Alabama, play-by-play voice for the Beauregard Hornets, who lose tonight. Central High School of Clay County really throws that region up.
It does.
You've got Tallahassee sitting there now at 4-0. Beauregard 3-1, Sylacauga 3-1, Central Clay 3-1. So it's all jumbled up there. We got to get to some more scores. Let's do scores on the fours right now.
Getting you the scores now. It's Scores on the Fours.
Moving over to 2A and their top 10, it was number 1, Fife, 58. Valley Head out of 1A classification, only 8. Number 2, Washington County, 35. Leroy, nothing. Number 3, GW Long, 56. Providence Christian, 7. Number 4, Tanner, they get a big win, 42-0 over Southeastern. It was number 5, Ranburn, 41, Horseshoe Bend, 7, as we mentioned earlier. Number 6, Sweetwater, 35, Southern Choctaw, 14. Number 7, Elba, 58, Laverne, 40. Number 8, Reeltown, they get another win, 26-8 over Woodland. It was number 9, Pickens County, 63, and Holy Spirit Catholic, 6. And finally, Geneva County is upset by Cottonwood, 41-12.
Some other scores for you. Northview defeats Dothan 31-14. It was Gaston over West End 49-12. Hale County defeats Holt 45-6. Bibb County over Montevallo 56-20. Greensboro defeats ACA 26-14. Billingsley over Notasulga 36-10. And Lamar County defeats Greene County tonight. How about this score? 70-58, 128 points.
Wow.
That's doing some.
They didn't even have time for a weather delay.
No, that's some offensive football. If they took a weather delay, it was just long enough to kick it off again. Score after score in that one. Scores on the Fours is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. For menu information or locations, check them out at baumhowers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Come up, we'll talk to Jeremy Smith from WSLY Radio York, Alabama, and the West Alabama Watchman. 2 games we want to talk to him about. And Bob Shoulders, the Director of Officiating for the Birmingham metro area and the AHSAA's official rules interpreter, coming up later on in the program. This is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store.
Hey, Box, we just helped a man who wanted to build a new deck.
Oh, yeah? How'd you do that?
Well, he came in, made an appointment with one of our project engineers, which is free, by the way, walked him through the materials list and helped him with each step. Now he has a beautiful new deck, all at our low price guarantee.
Well, I just helped a guy that wanted to build a brand new deck.
Really? How?
I sent him over to aisle number 24, you know, the lumber aisle.
9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
To speak with a farmer's agent in your community, call 888-96-FARMERS.
With over 125 years as North America's leading shingle manufacturer, GAF has selected Continental Roofing for Master Elite status. Only 3% of all roofing companies in the United States can qualify for this prestigious certification. It means Continental Roofing can offer the best roofing system warranty available anywhere. With so many roofing companies that have come and gone, look to Continental Roofing to provide total peace of mind with your next roof. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
At Baumhowers, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super 7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, as we have now surpassed 11 o'clock tonight. And believe it or not, we still got games in progress thanks to all our weather delays tonight. And one of those is a pretty big game as Childersburg tonight is leading Munford 21-14. What makes that significant tonight is the upset. Number 1 in 4A Leeds goes down to Dadeville tonight, 20-14. Childersburg with the ball now in the third quarter after they resume play in a weather delay, deep in Munford territory and leading by 7.
Wow, that is absolutely huge. And if you're a Dadeville fan, you were desperately searching for that game on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, because, I mean, if Childersburg holds on and wins that game, that throws Dadeville into first place in the region, when they were, expected to have a tough time with Leeds tonight. Touchdown Childersburg, by the way, is the brand new update.
Oh, wow.
Jeremy Smith, WSLY and the West Alabama Watchman. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Doing well, guys. How are you?
Very good. Listen, I hope you haven't had any weather problems tonight. I know you had 2 games going on. You went to Demopolis, Central Tuscaloosa, and, of course, you had a guy at A.L. Johnson and Linden. Neither one of those games turned out to be the kind of field goal type game, did they?
No, not at all. We had a lot of points put up, and, weather's popping all around us, but it managed to dodge us tonight. We were blessed in that regard. We'll start with Linden A.L. Johnson, of course, a top 10 matchup. ALJ number 6, highest ranking in school history, and Linden at number 8. And most people looked at that record from Linden at 2-3 and thought, well, this isn't the same Linden team. No, it's absolutely the same Linden team. The losses that they've had have been to Maplesville, St. Paul's, and Washington County. And they came out and just rolled A.L. Johnson up tonight, 52-0. They were able to score on the ground. They were able to score through the air. They were able to score defensively and did everything they needed to do. And that doesn't mean that A.L. Johnson isn't good, because they are. And I've maintained all year they're going to be a playoff team. And even if they're the number 3 seed, I think they're going to be the best 3 seed in 1A. And I do believe they're going to walk out of the first round and have a shot at making the quarterfinals. In 5A, Demopolis and Central Tuscaloosa. And the game is very important in Region 4 because Central Tuscaloosa sat at 3-1 and Demopolis unbeaten in Region play. And Central Tuscaloosa came out with an eye on throwing the ball, and they did so very effectively for most of the first half, but they couldn't finish drives. They took their opening drive down inside the Demopolis 20, had to settle for a field goal attempt that missed. They had a drive in the second quarter that went all the way to the Demopolis 5 and ended with an interception in the end zone. So they couldn't finish drives, and they couldn't stop the Demopolis ground game. Demopolis ran for 402 yards on the night, 499 yards total offense, and senior Rashad Lynch, 248 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 16 carries to lead the way for the Tigers. So it's a big one for them. Now they can clinch the region next week with a win over Wilcox Central.
I assume you'll be at that game next week?
Absolutely. We'll be there as Demopolis tries to clinch the region. And as you look at that region, the way it shakes out, I know you guys have already talked about a little bit about, Calera beat Helena tonight, and that gives Calera the inside track on winning that 2 seed in that region, which right now looks like it would have them hosting Viger. Viger trailed at halftime against Faith, and so that one kind of looked up in the air for a little while. So it's starting to kind of take shape, this playoff picture we're seeing.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, have you heard about some of the other big games around the state? For instance, Lee's being beat.
Things here and there. Sweetwater in our region won tonight. WS Neal beating Thomasville 27-7. I thought was a little surprising. Thomasville, now has lost 2 in a row, and they were a team that last year they went on that losing streak toward the end of the year, and so you kind of wonder how they're going to hold it together here with losses to UMS last week and WS Neal this week, and just a lot of things, a lot of interesting games this week. You guys talked about the Leeds upset. Spanish Ford had to go to overtime to beat Blunt. Some really, really interesting things this week in high school football.
And another one going on right now is Childersburg has just intercepted Munford again, leading 28-14 with 4 minutes left. Jeremy Smith, WSLY Radio, York, Alabama, and the West Alabama Watchman. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Hey, all right, guys, go football.
All right. So, go football. I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that one, Jeremy. You're officially on notice. I've co-opted that one. I'll mail him $1. We are going to talk about that game as it is approaching final status there because Childersburg defeating Mumford is big in terms of region play there, and it affects that Dadeville upset of Leeds tonight. We'll talk about that. Coming up, this is the AHSAA Radio Network Scores on the Fours right now.
Getting you the scores faster. It's Scores on the Fours.
Okay, moving into the 1A top 10 category, you got number 1 Brantley 48, Barber County nothing. Surprising thing there is Barber County is out of 3A. Number 2 Maplesville 69, Elwood Christian 16. Number 3 Hubbardville 48, Meek 8. The halftime score we have is Shades Mountain Christian leading Ragland 7-6 at the half. Ragland number 4 team in 1A. Number 5 Donahoe 27, Wadley 14. It was number 6 Linden losing to number 8. Number 6 A.L. Johnson losing to number 8 Linden 52-0. It was number 7 McKenzie 51, Florala 14. Number 9 Milry and J.F. Shields were waiting on a score there. And number 10 Berry 50, Brilliant 6.
Well, and Jeremy Smith just mentioned it. When you look at this Linden team and you look at the standings, if you were just looking at the standings and you said, well, Linden's 2-3. I know they're 2-1 in region play, but they're 2-3. But then he mentioned it: Maplesville, St. Paul's, Washington County.
Yeah,
those are the 3 losses. That's pretty tough. So Linden, you got to watch out for Linden. They're going to be number 2 in that region. And when you get in the playoffs, they're a team that you don't want to have to play there. We mentioned earlier Childersburg Mumford, and again, that is a big game in 4A Region 3 there, because Munford right now sitting at 3-1. They have a win over Dadeville. Dadeville tonight upset Leeds, who is the number 1 team in 4A, previously 3-0. They'll fall to 3-1. Dadeville goes to 3-1. Munford now falls to 3-2, and Childersburg will go to 3-1. Dadeville defeated Childersburg. What does that mean? It means the Dadeville Tigers, who came into tonight at 3-3 overall, now sit on top of 4A Region 3. It's craziness. Baumhauer's Restaurant brings you scores on the 4's legendary food, legendary fun spotlight segment coming up next.
Advanced Heating and Air is East Central Alabama's certified train comfort specialist. That means the pros at Advanced make you the focus with superior service on all brands, 24-hour availability, and in most cases, same-day response. Advanced Heating and Air is exclusive with Train Heating and Air products that deliver the longest reliability and great energy efficiency, with an amazing 0% 60-month financing package on all new Train products. The best service contacts in the region, and all pricing is upfront so you have no surprises. Advanced Heating and Air, where your comfort is our #1 concern.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that buy. Buy that buy. Hop.
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings.
High pressure, decline.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide. War Eagle. Go Wildcats!
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
General's Cafe in Newside is the area's #1 place for great food with great people. General's Cafe has only the best home-cooked food served hot and fresh and is sure to feed your appetite. General's has everything from the delicious fish plate to big juicy steaks. Come in every day for lunch and get the daily special, which will fill your belly and save you money. When you're looking for a good meal in a family-friendly atmosphere, then make the short drive out to General's Cafe on Highway 22 East in Newside.
Amtech is proud to be part of the Alexander City area. Amtech understands the importance of education, athletics, and teamwork. Support from friends, family, classmates, and faculty play a big part of success on the field. Amtech wishes the Wildcats best of luck this year, not only in the games, but in all of your academic achievements as well. Good luck, BRHS athletes, coaches, band members, cheerleaders, faculty, and students from Amtech.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Calvin Johnson, all-pro wide receiver.
Hey, what's up, man?
Is it true that you ran a 4.4 40-yard dash?
Actually, it's the 4.35.
Oh, man, that is lightning quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty fast, huh? Take it easy.
I have no idea what just happened.
Introducing the new Game Day Filet Sandwich Meal. A crispy chicken breast filet with just the right amount of kick on a lightly toasted bun. Served with crinkle fries and a small Coca-Cola Freestyle drink. Only at Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
Calvin!
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show, where we are in Week 8 of the high school football season. Jay and Luke with you for the AHSAA Spotlight interview tonight, and we're pleased to welcome to the show. This is a first for us, Luke. We've never had an official on before. Bob Shoulders is with us, Director of Officials for the Birmingham Metro area and the AHSAA Rules Interpreter. Bob, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
Very good. Bob, let's start here. I don't know if this is something that comes up a lot, and I don't know if it's something that a lot of people think about, but I think sometimes we just assume that on Friday nights we go find the 3 closest guys who, have a pinstripe shirt and put them out there. But you guys do a lot of training. There's a lot that goes on in being an official with the AHSAA. Talk a little bit about that process and the training and the knowledge that you guys have to acquire.
Sure. We do go pick up the nearest 3 guys. We just give them a book and hope that they've read it sometime over the last year. I'm just kidding.
You scared us for a minute.
Honestly, it's a lot longer process than everybody understands. Really, the officials are assigned out of their local associations around the state. For instance, here in Birmingham, we have 4 associations that are contracted with schools to handle their officiating. But these associations begin meeting in early July. Some of them actually at the end of June on a weekly basis to get their back into the groove of football officiating, of rules and mechanics of how we do what we do. We have our own mechanics manual that tells the officials, where they're supposed to be before a play, during a play, what they're supposed to be looking for and focusing on, and how to apply the rules that are set by the National Federation of High Schools. The associations meet, like I said, weekly. In early August, all the officials around the state have to take a registration test that we write that consists of 50 questions, and they've got to make a passing grade on that in order to be eligible to be assigned a game. So there's study that goes on along those lines, and then each district, and there are 8 across the state, has a district camp that is a one-day kind of crash course, and it's normally on a Saturday, and officials are all together with some of our instructors from around the state. They go through, again, different components, rule changes, rules interpretations, the new emphasis that come out for each year, and then most cases they're able to get out on the field with a school during a scrimmage and be critiqued and try to get some experience with their feet on the ground and some action before the season starts. The last big component of training is a statewide camp that's held each year. Normally the second or third week in August, after the teams are well into their practices and preparation, and the officials are within about a week or 10 days of being on the field in live situations. And we have, in counting instructors, about 100, and I think this year was about 160 officials and instructors were in Tuscaloosa for a 3-day camp that was all day long in classrooms and video presentations during the day, and going and working scrimmages at night under the supervision and guidance of instructors and directors around the state. So there's a lot more that goes into it. During the season, there are continue to be weekly meetings, and there are subjects that are covered each week. Most folks spend about half an hour on rules or mechanics, half an hour or maybe 15, 20 minutes on situations that come up, and then discuss and hand out their assignments for that week. So that's kind of a quick summary of all the different components that go into it. There's also now, with all the technology that's out there, we use a lot more video. There's a lot more video available to the officials for individual games, as well as some really good national video where guys can see officials and plays, and instead of seeing a picture or a description of it, you're seeing it live, and just like the players, it's a whole lot easier for us to see something on video than it is to try to describe it or read about it.
All right, Bob. Well, listen, it's great information. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people put a lot of thought into everything that goes into it, and of course, you guys do a great job every Friday, and it's really one of the toughest positions in a football game to try to sort all that out. And we appreciate your time so much. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, and you have a great weekend. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Bob.
It's Bob Shoulders joining us. He is, again, Director of Officials for the Birmingham Metro Area and AHSAA Rules Interpreter. Pretty interesting. There's a lot that goes into it. Until you hear it, you don't realize just how much really goes into it.
Well, I've always said that officials get a bad rap, I think. People always love to say that the game hinged on this call or that call. But really it's difficult, especially now. Everybody's bigger, stronger, and faster, and it's you have all these camera angles now, even in high school games, where you can see where a call was missed. And again, as a guy that once played along the offensive line many years ago, I know that holding goes on just about every single play. So you could always call it. It's just they try to call it when it's the most egregious, I believe. So,
Right.
and, they do the best they can. And, I think that they get a bad rap more often than not.
Bob Shoulders, our guest. That's the AHSAA Spotlight segment. Scores on the fours right now.
Getting you the scores faster. It's Scores on the Fours.
Let's zoom through these AHSAA scores. Number 1, Edgewood Academy wins for the 52nd time in a row, I believe, 63-6 over Northside. It was number 2, Bessemer Academy, 58, Pickens 6. Number 3, Escambia Academy, 51, Morgan nothing. Number 4, Marengo Academy, 53, Russell Christian nothing. Number 5, Monroe 48, Fort Dale 24. Number 6, Wilcox Academy was off tonight. Number 7, Restoration Academy and Kingwood waiting on a score there. Number 8, South Choctaw Academy 22, Clark Prep 21. Number 9, Autauga Academy 19, Pike 7. And number 10, Tuscaloosa Academy 42, Glenwood 10.
And that is Scores on the Fours, brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. Check them out at baumhauers.com. Coming up, we'll wrap things up, but first it's time for Player of the Week on the AHSAA Radio Network.
It's time for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show Player of the Week. Each week, all season long, the AHSAA Radio Network honors outstanding performances on a gridiron.
This week's AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week is Opelika's junior running back Josh Johnson. Josh ran the ball for 194 yards and 3 touchdowns on 19 carries, helping to secure Opelika's 60-14 victory over region opponent Chelsea High School. Congratulations to Opelika junior running back Josh Johnson, this week's AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week.
Congratulations to our Player of the Week and to all the athletes that keep us on the edge of our seats on Friday nights. It's the AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week. You're listening to the AHSAA Radio Network.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, Week 8 of the high school football season in the books tonight. And one personal story, I guess, here, Luke, is because something happened tonight that has never happened in the history of this program. My wife enjoys football. Mm-hmm. She does not sit around and wait with bated breath on Scores on the Fours, as you might imagine. Tonight, for the first time ever, my wife actually texted me a score.
Wow.
I mean, how does that happen?
I think it's good for the growth of the program.
It may be good for the growth of the marriage. Who knows? Maybe she's coming around. It is a final.
You crazy kids just may make it.
There you go. Childersburg has defeated Mumford tonight, 28-14. I guess the big story tonight, because it ties into that, Dadeville Tigers upset number 1 Leeds in 4A tonight. Leeds goes down.
Yeah, and after Childersburg beats Munford, I'm headed to Dadeville to party tonight. There's no doubt about that.
They'll be celebrating in Dadeville for sure, because that means Dadeville now will hold the tiebreakers and sits at number 1 in their region. So what a big game. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next Friday on the AHSAA Radio Network.
You've been listening to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show from the AHSAA Radio Network, powered by LMG. Brought to you by River Region Sports Fields, the Auburn Opelika Tourism Bureau, Olivia's Cabinet Design, a division of Continental Roofing, Russell Do It at Building Supply Centers, and by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. Thanks for listening, and join us next Friday night at 10 p.m. for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. This is the AHSAA Radio Network.